straight from the horse's mouth. Our Neil Young News Report.
Smell the horse on this one.
With this week's update from thrasherswheat.org, here's Thrasher.
Hey, Thrasher here with this week's Neil Young News, and things are relatively quiet on the Neil Young News front this week. One of the items that we covered on the blog over the week was another one of Neil Young's letters on his official neilyoung.com website. And this week, Neil has penned a letter directly to Canada's Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, regarding the tar sands, with a provocative headline about Prime Minister's head being stuck in tar sands. So, folks have probably been following a little bit of Neil Young's comments on the tar sands up in Canada here, and certainly his press conference a few weeks back really set off a bit of a firestorm up north, up in Fort McMurray area of Canada. But oddly, this time Neil Young's letter to the Prime Minister does not seem to have had much of an impact at all. Certainly haven't heard any fallout from that anywhere along the lines of Neil Young's last comments on the tar sands. So maybe everybody's moved on from Neil Young's opinion on the tar sands. So anyway, sort of moving along here, the other news item that we've had some coverage on regarding Pearl Jam's new album coming out, titled Lightning Bolt. And it turns out that the album in the liner notes is dedicated to none other than Neil Young. And there's been some interviews with the members of Pearl Jam. There's a video that was posted, an interview with all of the members of the band. The interview is by Judd Apatow, and we'll play a key portion of this where the band talks about the influence.
I remember we were trying to clear a song for Freaks and Geeks, and we sent the episode to Neil Young, and then we heard he was watching it on the bus at the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young tour. Like, oh my God, he's on a bus. What was it like touring with Neil Young? Like, what did you take from that experience afterwards?
For me personally, that's probably got to be the most influential sort of, character that we've been able to kind of play music with or get close, just because his depth is so great, and just watching him and how long he's been around, and the variety of songs and the simplicity which he plays, and the fact that he's like this amazing singer and this lead player, and all the variations that he's done, and all the chances he's taken, and all the all his ups and downs, and all that stuff is just inspired me for sure. I know the rest of the band just to be like, okay, what would Neil do?
And he just doesn't give a fuck.
The muse is the whole deal.
How did that happen? He's getting closer and closer to the core at all times, and it's his own journey. He just doesn't care what anybody else thinks about, what direction he should take, because he's tuned into something that he won't even take the time to explain to anybody else. He's on to something pretty much at all times. He's usually on to about 3 or 4 things at once. Because he was on the American Masters, and they were asking him about making records and records that don't sell because you're experimenting, and they asked him if he felt bad that a record didn't sell, and he said, no, I always feel like I got another one through. I tricked them again. I got it. I was able to do a new thing, and I got it made. And it's just, it's so the reverse of how most people think about what they do. I mean, I know just as a comedy writer, I watched that interview and thought, okay, I gotta have the balls to just say what I want to say and not worry, if I'm going to take a hit on it. And maybe that's why I'll connect with an audience, because it's getting more pure, because I'm not trying to figure them out every moment. I remember the first time we went to his ranch, and we were in a room playing, and he came in and strapped on a guitar and just started playing the weirdest stuff. It was like, what is he doing? And then all of a sudden, he made his thing work with these two chords that we were kind of playing. And I remember thinking, like, he's the most uninhibited, like, pure guy that I've ever been around. Like finding that weird thing that actually made our jam special.
Did you take those lessons into the studio? Like, has any of that actually become part of the many things you've learned from these
simplicity.
people?
I mean, it's like every record. It's not like he's not getting more ornate. He's not adding more on. He keeps taking away more. Getting it down to more a simplistic version, which is a great place to aim for, because you keep working with these real simple building blocks, and you can make these shapes with it that you just have to make them balanced, and he just does it in a way that inspires you to not come up with too busy of a part, or you don't need, if somebody's already doing something, do something simpler than what somebody else is doing.
I'm very much into.
So, there you have the members of Pearl Jam discussing the influence of Neil Young on their music. So otherwise, we'll just wrap up by saying we'll be looking forward to the Bridge concerts coming up in a couple weekends, and in the meantime, keep on rocking in the free world.